Hi everybody, it's Trudy here, One Grounded Angel. This is the last angel card reading video for 2019. In fact, there's only 2 days in this week I'm reading for in 2019. It's starting on the 30th of December and running through to the 5th of January 2020. I have to get used to saying that. So it's a very interesting time. We tend to see the end of the year and the start of the new one as a time of closing off of some doors and opening some new ones, and it's a great time for doing that because often a lot of us are on vacation and we've got the time to do a bit of self-reflection, which is not always so easy when we're dealing with the busyness of life. So if you're in that process, you might like to think about what went well for me in 2019, what would I like to change, how am I going to change that? And so hopefully the cards can give you some better guidance on how exactly to do that. So I'm shuffling the cards now for Monday, the 30th of December, and let's see what comes up. Like the slowest shuffle ever. Oh, good, thank you. We finally got some. We got 2 cards, which initially I was like, oh great, but actually they work pretty well together. The first one is, you know what to do. It's hard for me to elaborate on that because it's so blatant. It's really telling you that you already know what you need to do to make this happen. So following on from what I was just saying, this might be confirming that the guidance that you're already getting around what I need to do to make this happen is accurate. You already know. So if you're hesitating, if you're kind of torn between 2 paths, your intuition already knows. So what's going on often in that situation is really fear is getting in the way and telling you, oh, you can't do that, what will people think? Or, oh no, you don't have capacity for that. Or so you know what you need to do, and if you're open to that, the universe can find a way to guide you. And don't forget to ask your angels for some help, especially with things like material needs. If it's like something like help with supporting or minding the kids, or a bit more money coming in. On that note, smooth segue, prosperity. So you can see from this card, well, hopefully you can see from this card, she's holding, gold, basically. Gold is coming out of this. I think this is called the cornucopia, is it? That kind of symbolism of abundance coming through. And this reminds us that, actually you probably can't see too well, it's linked up to heaven. Everything we receive is provided for us by the universe. One of my affirmations I say on the regular is, everything I need is provided for me. And if you've ever done a session with me of energy healing, you'll probably have noticed that I do say that every time, because everybody needs it. We all need reassurance that we are provided for. We tend to look to our boss or our partners or whatever it is as the source of revenue, but in fact everything we get, food, shelter, whatever, comes from the universe. Those are just channels, those kind of bank accounts, etc. So we need to be remembering that we have enough of what we need in order to attract more of it. If we're focusing on, I don't have this, that's going to really kind of not help you, because you're going to start to attract more lack. Louise Hay, the wonderful late great Louise Hay, used to talk about how she would bless her bills and be thankful for her bills. That may not sit too comfortably with you, but the point is, what she's doing with that is being grateful that she has the money to pay her bills. So that's a great act of enforcing to the universe, I have enough. That means you're going to attract more. So prosperity, this might be a message for you if you're setting goals around something you want to start, perhaps a new business, and you're worried about the financial side of things. You're right to worry about it. It is a very human concern. They're not saying don't worry. They're just saying, I don't think it's very helpful to tell people not to worry about something, but what they're saying is you're going to be okay. It's probably not going to be easy. You might find it, you hit a lot of roadblocks, but you will be provided for. So remember that when it comes to goals you're setting, and in fact your life in general. So really looking at money is an important focus. I'm going to use for Tuesday a set of cards called Gateway Oracle cards by Denise Linn. And I thought that was really appropriate because you might like to see the 31st of December as a gateway. We're leaving behind the old, moving into the new. And in fact, it's a new decade. Well, depending on how you count the decades. I suppose mathematicians would say that really 2021 is really the start of the new decade, but officially we say that 2020 is. So manifesting dreams is the card for Tuesday, and I can't help but be struck by the symbolism here of a basket of food sitting here in this very agricultural harvesting kind of setting, which links back to what I said earlier about food and our material needs. So in the same way that we are provided for, yes, okay, we go to the grocery store and we buy the food we eat, or we grow it, hopefully, if you're in that fortunate position. The way that the way that food is provided for us is very much about us doing some work into it and the universe doing the rest. And that's very appropriate for manifesting dreams. Yes, put them out to the universe, but make sure you do the work. One of the greatest misconceptions, in my humble opinion, about the law of attraction and about manifesting is that it's just about asking the universe for stuff and waiting for it to show up. It's very much about you doing the work. We can't overlook the need for us to put in the work. Things don't just show up. People who have manifested have not been passive. They've been very active in that formula. So that might be a message for you in terms of you working on what you want to create. It could be encouraging you to do that. The statement down the bottom is my dreams are coming true. So that might indicate a need to be optimistic as well. We need to be positive about the potential for our dreams to come true, and realizing that doesn't mean pretending it's going to be easy, or pretending that it's something that you don't have to do anything towards, or any of those limiting ideas, or that when you're hitting a roadblock or a hurdle, trying to be positive about it when you're really annoyed and quite scared. It's not anything like that. It's really just about saying, if things are a struggle for you right now, you might like to say, okay, things are not great, but I know they will work out okay. So even if I don't know how. And it doesn't mean that what you are focusing on in that long range picture is going to show up for you perfectly. It just means that you need to keep moving in the right direction towards, and try to be optimistic, even though it's not necessarily going so well right now. I'm going back to the symbolism here of that basket of food. I really feel that they're emphasizing this idea of things being provided for us. And because it links back to that symbolism here. So I feel like I need to emphasize the fact that, and this may not, of course, resonate for all of you, this idea that it is possible for us to get what we need, and we are being looked after by the universe. Maybe that's something you need to really focus on in terms of attracting what you want, because it's not going to, if you are cynical about your potential to make good things happen, or even pessimistic about I don't deserve good things, or nothing ever works out for me, anything like that, you're going to want to address those mindset blocks, because they're going to block you from receiving the thing that you want. Even if you're doing it in a sort of tricky way, like a sort of you're professing, oh, nothing ever happens to me, but you're secretly hoping the universe will prove you wrong. That just doesn't work. The universe is not interested in playing games with you or anyone. Wednesday, believe. The best is yet to come. I love how simple these cards are. There's really, it's really hard to get more profound or more, I guess, more clear than that. So, like I was saying earlier, I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but that's a sign that we're in sync here. I'm in alignment with the messages they're trying to convey. Your optimism is super important, and like I said, optimism is not the same as toxic positivity, which there's a lot about on social media, so I don't need to go down that track. The best is yet to come. Even if things are really crappy right now, holding space for the potential that they can improve is super important. I like that there are flowers depicted here. When we're planting seeds, we don't know what's going to grow, or if anything at all will grow. We just keep sort of tending to them, watering them, all that. I know I've talked about gardening as a metaphor before, but it's a powerful one. We don't know when that's going to bloom, if it will. So we just have to keep doing the work and being optimistic about a good result. Let's move to Thursday now. So Thursday is the 2nd of January. chakra clearing. Okay, chakra 101. You can say chakra or chakra. I use them interchangeably. I don't know why. So they are energy centers in your energy field. Your energy field is like your aura. It's just outside of your body. You can't see it. Some people can. I can't. I can feel energy. I can't see it. But anyway, they're discs that your life force energy is moving through. There are a ton of them, but 7 main ones that we work on in Reiki. And these are things that you would have heard before if you've watched my videos for a while. Things like the heart chakra, which is the energy center associated with the way we give and receive love. Or the sacral chakra, which is all about our emotions, our creative energy, our sexual energy, our sense of identity, all those things. So yeah, that they have specific kind of areas that they are associated with. This is a very general card, so it's not pointing to any particular chakra. It's just saying that your energy is probably out of balance, and that's something that happens all the time. We pick up energetic blocks, and I guess our chakras get out of balance as a result of things like being around people who are toxic, people who are negative. We pick up energy from other people if we are not shielding our energy. I've talked about shielding a ton, so I won't go into that. We also, things like physical kind of impurities like chemicals and things that we're exposed to that aren't perhaps so healthy for us in terms of smog or bushfire smoke if you live in Australia, unfortunately. General kind of pollution, household cleaners, beauty products that are full of toxins, those sorts of things can play into it as well. So this is asking you to clear your chakras, and if you're already engaged in energy healing work, you will know how to do this probably. You can go have Reiki, you can use crystals, particularly things like clear quartz. Amethyst is great for clearing. I'm not a crystal expert, so I can't give you much guidance on that. But if you're not willing to go down the energy healing route, I would advise you look at it as a general cleanse. So things that can really help you are being around nature. They clear your energy. Being near the ocean, in particular the salt spray, can really clear your energy. I realize if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, that's perhaps not so appealing right now at this time of the year. What else is really good for energy healing? Yeah, being around nature. And if you are in a cold climate, you could look at things like indoor plants, particularly things like peace lily. NASA has a whole list of plants that they take into the spacecraft to purify the oxygen. Those can all be really helpful as well. Float therapy is also excellent for clearing your energy. So those are the main ones. I won't elaborate on that too much. I think the important thing to remember with that is if the chakra stuff doesn't really resonate, I think if you're watching my video, it probably does, because I'm all about energy healing. You don't need to know whereabouts the energy is blocked. It's more about a general clearing. So if you don't want to go down that chakra kind of route, you could just look at where you need to lighten up in terms of your energy. Do you need to spend less time with people who are really dragging you down at the moment? Do you need to set more boundaries around your time? Do you need to have a day just to yourself at home in solitude? Do you need to meditate more? Also meditation, there's lots of chakra specific clearing meditations you might like to look at as well. So let's go to Saturday now. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oops. Sorry, this is Friday, not Saturday. Listen, so the most underrated communication skill, all anybody really wants is to be heard and to be fully seen. And the best way you can do that is by listening to them instead of thinking about the next thing you're going to say in the conversation. Repeating back what they've said to make sure you've understood, and using silence more often. I'm a journalist. It's the most useful thing ever in an interview. If I'm silent, people will rush to fill the space, and that's usually when they tell me stuff that is very interesting or relevant. So listening is super important. I think if you're engaged in a conflict or a tension kind of situation at the moment, listening might be really helpful for you to see the other person's perspective. And it doesn't mean that they're right and you're wrong, or you're right and they're wrong, or whatever it is. Instead of that kind of polarity, look at just understanding where they're coming from and listening to them. It doesn't mean you need to give them whatever they're demanding. It just means understanding where they're coming from can help you release some of the toxic emotions you might be holding towards them for taking that position. If you can understand, for example, that the person who just pulled out in front of you in traffic, this is not a very good listening example because you can't talk to them, but try to understand there might be stuff going on for them. Maybe their parent is really sick, or maybe they're dealing with some sort of illness, or they're not sleeping at the moment because they've got a young baby. There could be anything going on that could lead to a lapse of judgment. So listening's a really good way to get clarity on that. The card is also speaking to, poor choice of words, the card is also about you listening to the angels. So instead of speaking to them and asking for things, which is obviously important, make sure you're also allowing time to listen to the response. And they don't always speak in words or, really obvious kind of ways. So sometimes you need to just allow space for that to come through, because if you're asking for a sign in particular, it's generally not instant. It takes time. You need to get out of your house, explore. That's usually when the signs pop up. I think just really tuning down the volume on the noise in your life right now is probably the best thing you can take from that. Because when you've got a really super busy mind, it's hard for you to really connect to your intuition and identify that voice, as it were. Saturday's card here, I'm just going to peel it here. Oh, actually I can do that later. It hasn't been cut by the printers very well. So co-create is the message here, and it's very similar to what I said earlier about how what we manifest in our lives is a partnership with the universe. We co-create it. We don't create anything on our own, and the universe doesn't create anything for us. I mean, there may be exceptions to that last point, but the co-create is about you working with the universe to bring through what you're looking for in your life. And so it's emphasizing the fact that you have a role to play here. You need to be active in that. When we take action steps, it really changes the energy around us, and it's easier for the universe to send through energy in support of that because it's got an anchor point then. If you are sitting back and being passive, there's really kind of nothing going on. I don't really know what else to say to that, because I feel like I've kind of said it all with this manifesting dreams card. It's a really empowering message, making sure that you are working with the universe. And if you're not specifically trying to bring anything through into your life, you might like to look at other types of partnerships in your lives and sorry, I'm really sleep deprived at the moment, in your life, and making sure that you are working in a reasonable state of equilibrium. So you are listening to them and you are being an open communicator with them instead of trying to bury your feelings and pretend everything's okay. So you might like to look at how you can rebalance any kind of unhealthy dynamics or sort of imbalances in terms of your partnership to make sure it's more equal. What day are we on to now? Sunday. Interesting move. This card shows up in two very different ways. The first thing is moving house. If you are considering moving house, here's your confirmation that's the right thing for you. If you are thinking of moving things around within your house, renovation, rearranging furniture, whatever it is, changing rooms, go for it. If you have recently moved, this might be validating that it was the right thing for you, and that can be a really welcome sign or a message to get. The other thing is moving your body. So we know that from a health perspective that our bodies need regular movement. We're sitting down way too much in this modern busy life, and we need to be moving more often. And this might be telling you, I'm just getting another message here. It might be telling you need to move your body more. You don't have to join a gym or go too crazy, to extremes. You just need to be doing regular movement, because that helps support your energy as well. getting the energy moving. And the message I just got was you might like to move your mindset. So a shift in being really fixed to your ideas. I need this to work like this, into something of I'm open to how this comes through. This is what I want. I'm not attached to it. I'm moving towards it, taking the action steps I'm being guided to take, but I'm open to the fact that that might show up in a different way. And an example I often use of that is someone who is trying to manifest more money. A sister shows up and offers them some money and they say no out of pride, they don't want the loan. But in fact the universe might have sent the sister to provide the solution there as a short-term measure. So we need to be not super attached to our ideas about how things should be. You guys probably know how I feel about the word should. It's not particularly helpful. So getting a bit of a shift in our ideas about what we're attached to and what we believe has to happen. And I guess that could also relate to this believe message here in terms of us needing to be more optimistic and not being attached to those ideas of, people like me don't start businesses, or women can't be CEOs, or whatever nonsense it is in your head. Make sure you're shifting those, because they could be limiting you, and make sure the reason you're not attached to them is not fear as well. Sometimes they can be a cover for I don't want to do this because I'm scared of failing, so I'll attach to this idea of, whatever idea it is to keep me safe in my little box. So let's look at the week. I think the strongest messages are around manifestation and really working with the universe to bring through what we're looking for. And being our mindset, having an optimistic mindset is super important as well. This is quite powerful for where we're at right now in terms of the end of one year and the start of another. Getting this action around movement and really signaling it changes, that's really positive. And always good to have this, you know what to do, validating it. You're on the right track. That's it for the week. As always, these will be on my Instagram at One Grounded Angel, and my Facebook page also called One Grounded Angel. I love reading your comments about how these messages are showing up for you as well. So if you are looking for more precise or more tailored guidance that speaks to you on a personal level, you might like to speak to me about personal angel card reading, which I do via Skype or Zoom, so anywhere in the world. Or you could look at energy healing if you really need some help shifting things that you're stuck on, in particular a mindset, or trouble setting boundaries, or an attachment to negativity or pessimism or whatever it is. I am fairly booked for those first few weeks of January, but there is space available towards the end of January. So thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the last week of the year and the first week of next year, as it is for me at the time I'm recording this, and I hope that you've got some really solid goals and dreams that you want to bring through this year. I think it's going to be an exciting year for all of us. Take care, everybody.